Tommyinnit, considered by many to be DreamSMP's main character, but in recent events, he was murdered because of an attack on a prison. But surely, the attack on the prison and Tommy's murder were just two coincidences, right? Or so you thought. So I sat down and analyzed every single bit of information I had on these events and discovered what could be one of the biggest organized crime on their server. So I'm here to tell you, Tommy's death was no coincidence. And here's how. The Beginnet Hotel finally operational. Business was rolling, and he finally could live a normal life. But he couldn't just turn the page. After all, Dream had toyed with his mind for a month, destroying everything Tommyinnit loved, and then immediately acting like his best friend. Dream is a massive psychopath, and what makes him even scarier is the fact that his power is only rivaled by Technoblade. For the first time in his life, he would stop acting like a literal child and face his fears like a man. To be fair though, he is just a literal child. Tommy was ready to do what would be the last time he visited Dream. A final goodbye to start a new era in Tommy's life. Or that's what he had thought. You see, only minutes later, an attack on the prison started and the whole facility locked down. After 7 days of pure madness, stuck with Dream, Tommy was murdered with a potato. Yeah, you heard that right.
I've seen his grave. His grave is real. His corpse is there.
Okay.
Alright?
Why don't you go see him?
No, stop it.
There's just something that's not right. You see, the attack was made with TNT, where what seemed to be the roof of the prison. The thing is, the whole facility is made out of obsidian. If you didn't know, it's common knowledge that TNT can't break obsidian. Alright, so I got a block of obsidian, and I'm gonna test if you can blow it up. There's literally a whole crater around it, and there's not even a single scratch on it. Which means, the culprit didn't have the intent of breaking in. So first we need to learn who it was. Out of 33 players, I need to single one of them out. And it had to be someone trusted by Dream, and ready to do whatever he said. Thanks to Tommy, I have a list of all the potential players who were on when the attack happened. Now from the start we can check off Foolish and Jack Manifold, since we know they're not really in the main story. From then on we're left with Rainbow and Awesome Dude, and this is where it gets complicated. You see, I got reasons to believe it was either one of them. For Rainbow, it's simple. Dream's been in his head for ages, and even in prison, he continued to have an influence on him. So he might have told Rainbow to blow up TNT on the roof. Now Awesome Dude, the warden of the prison. Surely it would be impossible that he had set up the TNT, right? Or so you thought. You see, I went over all the old streams where Sam is and found an interesting detail. So let me explain in, let's say, 2 minutes. After a few days of being missing, Tommy and Puffy took the matter upon themselves and went on a quest to find Sam, and upon finding him, they weren't too pleased. You see, Sam was stuck with the egg and reduced to nothing, forced to eat his own meat for sustenance. And it's not like Tommy helped that a lot.
What? What do you mean you eat your arm? You can't do that. You can't. It just wouldn't taste good.
It's been
Is
a
it
long
cannibalism
13
if it's
hours.
yourself?
You know what? These are the deeper life questions we probably should leave unanswered.
It doesn't feel that deep. It feels...
But Sam didn't seem tormented, but more like he was lost, as if he had found a new truth that he didn't want to accept. Another extremely sus thing about him is that after his trip inside the egg, he came out permanently marked with a red gem on his forehead. A month later, Sam recruited 2 of the biggest fanatics of the egg to guard the prison, which is also quite odd since Sam makes it clear he quote-unquote hates the egg. The last thing that made me believe it was him is the fact that he wasn't there when the attack happened. Unless the game changed, you're supposed to see Sam's name tag through the lava, but it wasn't there, meaning that Sam was somewhere else. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was a warden of the prison and the most dangerous criminal was getting visit, I'd keep an eye on the criminal. I rest my case. But now I think we all agree on the fact that it was Sam, right? Well, it's not that simple, you see. There's 40 minutes of security processes Sam would have had to go through to then get on the roof, which confuses me, since it didn't take 40 minutes for the TNT to blow up. So I went on Sam's old stream, and at this exact moment, he mentioned a secret exists, only reserved to him.
So what happens if you're stuck in there?
Well, I have a secret exit, but I didn't want to show it on stream. Means I'll have to use the secret exit. Which
Where's
means
the
you don't get to watch, chap.
Now, it is finally safe to say that the wrong'un was Sam. But why would the egg help Dream? And what exactly is Dream's master plan? You don't have to be Einstein to understand that Dream's ultimate goal is to get out of that prison. But I couldn't quite understand why he wanted Tommy out of anyone else to be in there with him. If anything, Tommy's known to be annoying and a literal child.
Okay, there's now two people at the Enchantment Islands. Thank you for interrupting me for that, Tommy.
Then you're dead, Wilbur. Sorry, I should never shout.
There's no chest.
I'll mute myself then. I can't with Tommy. I can't with Tommy right now.
Until it hit me. To get out of prison, he'll need someone that's both very intelligent and evil enough to do it. The only member with those qualities is Wilbur, but in dying, he took all his knowledge with him. Or so that's what we had all thought. You see, before dying, J-Slat gave Dream a book that revives the dead, but before using it on Wilbur, he needed a test subject to see if it actually worked. Someone he could toy with, and could afford to lose. And who better fits that description than good old Tommyinnit? But then the question begs to be asked, why would the egg come to help? A wise man once said, one's actions are decided by their goals. Okay, I just made that up, but you don't have to be a genius to understand that the egg wants to expand and conquer, and for that, they're gonna need power, and I mean, Dream level of power. So Dream probably told them that he'd help them if they did what he wanted. And with that information, we can finally recreate the perfect crime. So Tommy decided to cut his ties with Dream and would make a final visit, but Dream wasn't ready to let that happen. So after being led to the cell, Dream would distract Tommy so Sam could get on the roof. Once on the roof, Sam would blow up the TNT, henceforth putting the whole facility in lockdown. From then on, Dream would catch up with his old friend Tommy, and after 7 days, would kill him. It all came down to this. Had J-Slat lied, or did he really have the power to revive the deads? Spoiler alert, Dream can revive people now. Then he went on about being a god or something. 7 days later, Sam would come back to check on Dream, to find Tommy still alive. The fact that Tommy can still walk makes it a little less perfect. But this is how the perfect crime went down.